Hi, first graders. This is to help you with your grammar pronouns. So if you remember when we learned different parts of speech, there's sometimes a book that we read to help us. So there is a book for pronouns. So this one is called The Planet Without Pronouns. It's a little tricky to read, so stick with me here. Stanley Sharpleton was an amazing kid. First, he built his very own spaceship. Then he took it for a little spin. He zoomed past Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto. In fact, he kept right on rocketing until he reached a far-off purple planet called Crimular. Stanley slipped on his gravity-defying sneakers and hurried down the space ladder. He'd done it! He landed on planet Crimular and he couldn't wait to explore. After walking a while, he reached a city. Aha! Just as he had suspected. There was life on Crimular. But something about this planet was very, very strange. Stanley just couldn't quite figure out what it was. Suddenly, Stanley felt a tap on his shoulder. He whirled around. "Greetings, Earthlings," said a bright green creature with several arms. "Zik is named Zik. Tell Zik the name used to call the Earthling." Stanley told Zik his name. "Zik is glad to meet Stanley," said Zik. "Stanley and Zik can be friends." Zam likes Zoe's new shoes. Zoe likes Zam's new haircut. Do you notice anything odd about how these two aliens are talking to each other? "Zik will show Stanley around Crimular," said Zik. "Look, Zik sees a Grugalac." Stanley looked where Zik pointed and saw a strange and beautiful animal. "Shh," said Zik. "Stanley and Zik must not startle the Grugulac." Suddenly, Stanley knew what was strange about Crimular. Zik didn't use pronouns. In fact, there were no pronouns to be found on the entire planet. Stanley was happy to have met Zik. Without pronouns, though, it sure was going to be hard to communicate with his new friend. "Your planet is so amazing," said Stanley, "but you could describe it even better if you used pronouns. Would you like to learn more about them?" When Zik nodded enthusiastically, Stanley pulled a collapsible space blackboard from his back pocket. "Pronouns are small words such as I, you, me, her, or them," explained Stanley. "They are used in place of nouns to make sentences simpler. Think of them as shortcut words. For example, instead of saying Zik sees a Grugalac, you could say I see it. When the lesson was done, Zik said, "I have processed the concept of pronouns and will master it shortly." "Boy, you learn quickly," replied Stanley. "Not only do I have 6 hands, I also have 6 brains," remarked Zik. "Now let's tour the rest of the planet." Zik showed Stanley a huge volcano that spewed pink and green smoke in big bouncy balls with fancy patterns. Take a look at the barnacle," said Zik. "The barnacle erupts every day." Correction, it erupts every day. I get so excited that I almost forgot to use pronouns. Just then it started to snow, even though the weather was very warm. Zik darted about, catching the flakes in his mouth. "Zik loves snow." Correction, I love snow. Gee, pronouns do make things easier. Stanley caught a flake on his tongue. It tasted like watermelon. He caught another one. It tasted like a hot dog. He caught another. It tasted like pizza. "This one is the best," he said. Zik then replied, "Stanley's favorite flavor is pizza, and so is Zik's." Correction, your favorite flavor is pizza, and so is mine. At last, it was time for Stanley to return to Earth. "Thanks for teaching me all about pronouns. They sure come in handy," said Zik. "Thanks for showing me all around Crimular. It's really out of this world," exclaimed Stanley. Next, Stanley gave Zik a farewell gift. It was his latest invention, an intergalactic cell phone. "This will help us keep in touch," he said. "Wow, thanks, Stanley," replied Zik. Correction, thank you. I like it almost as much as I like pronouns. Back on Earth, Stanley got a call from Zick. Is it all right if my family and I come for a visit? He asked. Sure, you can stay in our guest room, said Stanley. Perfect, responded Zick. Expect us Thursday. Me, my parents, and my 2,978 brothers and sisters. I told them all about pronouns, and they each want a lesson. This should help you with your pronoun grammar activities.